Yo, yo, yo. We are live. Damage Per Second podcast. That's DPS podcast, episode 218. We are back on a fine Thursday night, feeling all right. At least I'm. Forte's feeling all right. Forte got all the energy so far. I'm just trying to get there. I found the Red Bull. So I'm gonna get there. Just give me a couple minutes. I'll have the same energy level. But we got a lot of topics for tonight. Now, actually, I wouldn't say a lot. We definitely got some topics that we going to talk about for a very long time. That's how I'll phrase it. We got some topics that are going to generate a lot of conversation, and I hope you guys are ready to join in. Gaming Forte, my co-host with the co-most, man. What's going on with you?
What's going on, man? You know, I'm glad you found that Red Bull. You know, first thing I want to ask you is what flavor Red Bull do you have?
Oh, it's just a regular Red Bull, man.
What? Just regular? So you don't like none of those Fiesta flavors like strawberry, watermelon?
My favorite is the Juneberry.
Oh,
I like the Juneberry.
Isn't that like the blue one or the purple one?
Yeah. It's like a blue. Yeah. That's my favorite. But no, this is just a regular old Red Bull. It was in the back of my office fridge. I would not. I have to thank you because I would not have known it was in there. And until you was like, you ain't got a Red Bull in the fridge. And I was like, I didn't even check. I just assumed there wasn't one in there. And then I was like,
a lone survivor sitting in the back of the fridge next to the
back of the fridge. I was like, oh, look at this. I don't know how long you've been in there, sir, but
where have you been my whole life?
You're going to get put to good use tonight. But no, what you been up to, man? What you been playing?
Oh man, I've been college football still, of course. Playing my Val game. Oh, Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's lit, bro. Listen, anybody that tells you anybody that tells you that Monster Hunter is busted on PC, they are about 90% right. Because guess what? They're 90%. You know what? I take it back. They're 99% right. But you know what? The people in that 1% that don't have issues with it, shout out to the 4080s, the 4090s, the 4080 Supers and 5090s and 5080s and stuff. Oh, shout out to those graphics cards that say middle finger to all of your bad performance, because guess what? We're gonna brute force the hell out of this. Because I tried playing that game on my laptop, and my laptop is a really good laptop. It's got a 2080 Super, the laptop version in it. So it's not a slouch. 2080 is still pretty good for something that you could take on the go portably. But I tried playing that game on there, bro. I was like, whoo, at 1080p. I'm like, this is a slideshow, bro. I gotta turn it to like medium, like low to low. You know how they have the hyphen, like medium high.
It was a flip
like
book.
Low medium. I had to turn it to like low medium textures to get that thing to even give me 30 frames per second. And I was like, wait a minute. I said I could run Battlefield 2042 almost max settings on this laptop at 1080p and get every bit of 80 frames per second. And I'm like, Monster Hunter can only give me like less than 30 at medium to low setting. I was like, yeah, this thing's busted, bro. It's so bad. The performance is so bad on PC if you don't have one of those high-end graphics cards. So I shout out to anybody that bought it on PC. Monster Hunter sold a lot of copies everywhere.
Yeah, I heard. You know, it's wild. I was actually watching Audible. Shout out to Audible. I was watching him play some Monster Hunter Wilds last night, and every time I see somebody play the game, they always got like a great looking character.
Oh,
and all the character models look great. Yeah. I mean, like the character creator is dope in that game, and all I want to do.
You'll be proud of the hair. The hair in that game looks amazing.
All I want to do is make a character. I do not want to play that game. I'm telling you, like, I have zero desire to play Monster Hunter. I just want to make a character. If they do it like what game? There's a few games when they have like really good character creators. They create a like section it off and allow people to just install it, and separately and just do the character creator. I would love to do that. That would be awesome. But alas, that's not to be. And I'm not going to buy that game just to do a character creator. So it's not happening. I
out here.
and I'm not saying it's a bad game.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's boring to me. And I haven't played Wilds. Maybe Wilds is a bit different. But with Worlds, I've said this before, I couldn't get with the gameplay loop. It just got boring like halfway through the game. So I just nah, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. You brute forcing on your 4090.
Man, brute
so
forcing
you're
like
decent
a mug.
Performance.
Oh yeah, and I knew it was brute forcing because when I look at the frame rates, I'm like, there's no way I should only be getting like 75 to 80 frames per second with this graphics card. There's no way. But guess what?
Is that with like frame gen on and
No, that's cheating. That's cheating. I wanted to see what raw performance was before I turned frame gen on. So it's pretty decent that you still can get 70 frames before frame gen, but once you turn frame gen on, you're sitting in like the 120s, like 130. I think I got the highest I've seen in like open areas where or not open areas but more concealed areas like the wood areas where you can see the volumetric lighting come through the trees and everything like that, and the optical filters kick in. I think it was like 135 frames is what I saw at max. But when you get like in like open areas where like it's like all about draw distance and seeing stuff far out, I seen it get to like 170, 180 because it's not anything real close to you other than rocks and texture. But I will say this,
that's what I don't get. Like, I don't understand why this game is so demanding, and everything I see in it is like the entire environment is just brown. Everything is like brown rock desert, and I'm just like, what's the big deal? Like,
where's the performance going?
Yeah, because like it don't even mean it's not like this. Like, how is this game more demanding than like Alan Wake 2 and Cyberpunk? Like, that don't even make any sense.
But the funny thing is, you haven't played, so you haven't noticed it. They drastically kill the texture quality when you're fighting monsters. The monster looks detailed as hell. Like, you can go into an environment and you can see
is it like Final Fantasy 16 on PlayStation?
Yes,
where you get into a fight in the background just turn into like a Picasso painting or something where it's just like an abstract painting. That's great. That's terrible.
That's exactly what it does, because it's like you'll go into an area and it looks great. Like, you see all the textures and stuff. The rocks look textured. As soon as that giant monster comes out, it's like that flip of a switch. It's like they know you're focused on the monster. You're not really focused on the environment.
So you ain't gonna see these muddy textures in the background.
No, I literally watch videos of people of course because they're probably like, ain't nobody gonna zoom in to 300% when you're up here fighting this giant monster in front of you. Oh boy, did people do it? They was like people literally going and making videos like, listen, this monster looks great, but that rock that's behind it, what happened to it? When I came in this area, that rock had bump mapping and everything on it. You can see it's like the tessellation and stuff was on there, but all of a sudden this monster comes out of nowhere and that mud looks as smooth as a baby's butt. It's so funny. But no, the game is still fun no matter what people say. It's very unfortunate because Capcom has always had this issue when it comes to their PC ports. It's like, if it's not a Resident Evil game, it seems they just can't nail it outside the gate. And I don't know how long it's going to take them to fix this.
Is it open? It's hub worlds, right?
It's hub worlds. It's not even fully open. I mean, the areas are open, but think about how Avowed is. How Avowed, you got giant areas, but it's more hub based. It's like you can teleport to different places and stuff, but each individual hub is huge. That's how Monster Hunter is. and it has to be that way because you're talking about monsters and like dragons and scales and stuff that are like the size of Godzilla when you're fighting them sometimes. So it kind of has to be that way when you're seeing them off in the distance and everything. But it's just real interesting to see, like you said, the Final Fantasy 16 effect. As soon as you get into a battle, hit the switch, make the monster put lights on him so everything looks great on him, and we're just gonna drown out the background. So people don't, know that our performance, because I could just imagine they try to keep that same quality across the game in those fights. Oh, you talking about frame rates probably in the 20s, literally. It's crazy.
That's unplayable.
Yeah, that is unplayable, but I'm still having fun with the game, and it's mostly just due to the fact that I'm playing with some friends, like some of my coworkers that kind of got me into it. But that's kind of what I've been doing. I finally did pick up Split Faction? Is that what the name of it? Split Fiction. Yeah, Faction. I finally picked that up. So once you do your playthrough with Ramon, me and you got to go. We're actually going to finish this one. You know what? Actually, I feel like we need to finish It Takes Two because me and you started it and never finished it. So we need to go back. I think we need to go back and finish that. Maybe that should be the stream that we do on this channel at some point in the future, and just dedicate like 1 or 2 days to get it out the way, or just not to get it out the way, but just give some extra content to the people on the channel. I don't know how you feel about that, but I miss playing games with you.
Well, I mean, we play Call of Duty all the time.
But I want to argue with you as you do stupid things that piss me off and slow me up in the game. And then I know you want to yell at me about Forte.
Why would I be? Hold on. Why would I be the one slowing you up?
Did you hear what I say? I said, I know I want to yell at you, but then if you would have listened before you got very defensive, I was going to say, and I know you want to do the same thing to me when you went.
I don't think you said, and I know you part.
Yes,
I
did.
Think you said that part.
I was actually getting there right when you started to say, "What makes you think I'm gonna? Why you think I'm gonna slow you down?" And I'm saying, "Okay, well, listen. I need you to listen and don't react because you are very reactional."
I am reactionary.
Okay.
Not reactional.
Okay. That is definitely a word you just made up.
Reactionary is a word I made up, but reactional is, you said reactional. That's what you said.
Yeah. My word is right and your word is wrong.
Forte, stop it. You stop it right now. You know reactional is not a word. We are not going to do this. I'm fine with it. We can play that. I actually see, bro, Split Fiction. I actually have been playing, and shout out to Ramon in the chat. Me and Ramon played it. Nice. And I actually played it with Luca as well.
Luca, I haven't talked to Luca forever. I love her. I miss her. How's she doing?
Really?
I haven't talked to her.
Doing great.
I haven't talked to her in probably a couple months. I talked to her last time I talked to her about Scumcast and stuff, and then I haven't talked to her since. Yeah, I gotta give her a call to see how she's doing. I know it's on me because I gotta reach out to her.
Yeah, she's doing good. I talk to Luca like every other day. We played a little bit of Split Fiction as well as I played it with Ramon. 2 separate sessions, of course, because it's just 2-player co-op. But it's
Can you share your friend code multiple? So you could actually share your friend code multiple times with people?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you could only. Well, I guess that makes no sense because then how would you be able to play the game again if you want to if you couldn't?
Right. I shared it one time with that one person back in 2018,
and the game
I can't share it ever again. Like, no. You can.
Right. Yes,
you can share it multiple times.
I just literally thought about that as I was saying it, and I was like, Forte, that was stupid. It's like, why would you even think that was even the case?
It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
They definitely borrowed a lot from like different like genres, different TV shows, different movies. There's one level that like when I played it with Luca and when I played it with Ramon, they both was like, yeah, I know what movie this is from. Right. And it was like 1000% right. But like every section of it that you do, every chapter is completely different with completely different gameplay, which is, and it's not like super deep gameplay, so it's not like difficult to, or there is no like learning curve to figure it out, but it's well designed and it's a lot of fun. And just Hazelight is in their bag with this kind of stuff, and I think this might be their best game. Like, you know, it really is that good. It is that much fun. Story's a bit generic, you know, dialogue. You know, I was playing it with Ramon. You know, Ramon's a writer, so Ramon's just like, can you believe this dialogue? I mean, a writer like myself would never, like, you know how Ramon is, right? So, you know, he's just like completely thrown off by how generic the dialogue is. But that's not really like the focus of it. The focus is like the various scenarios they've created that they put you through, where you need teamwork at times, and the other times you just need to actually be really good at platforming. And it's a good game. It's a very good game. Like I think the 90 Metacritic is well deserved, and guaranteed it's a game of the year contender later this year. Like you can bank on this. When a developer wins game of the year, mm-hmm. and their very next game has a higher, like, is like a higher critical like response, positive response. Mm-hmm. Oh, you in there. Like, I mean, and depending on the year, you know, you may or may not win, but you're definitely in the conversation at that point.
That's true. You're right.
What's up, Game Logic? Game Logic in the chat. What's up, bro?
Game Logic. You just missed me, you know, slow-mo misinterpreting what I was saying and making up words 10 minutes ago. You just missed it.
I don't know. I don't think that happened. But anyway, if you're done, I can talk about the stuff I've been playing.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm done. I just, you know, I appreciate the fact that you allowed me to share this illustrious microphone and podcast.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I appreciate all of those things. And you know, I'm just happy to have a friend like you. Very appreciative to have a friend like you. Not a friend like me, a friend like you. Because you know what?
I feel like
you matter. You matter, Slomo. You matter.
This is so, yeah. I you know, I wish you guys just understand that he's just so full of it right now. Like, this is just all. Like,
no. This is genuine. Listen, I am genuine, like Genuine was to all of those women he was out there messing around with in the 80s and 90s. That's how genuine I was.
It was definitely just the 90s. And he definitely was not. I mean, like,
he was pretty bad.
He definitely was not. Yeah, so exactly. This was exactly my point. You're not genuine anyway.
No, I just think the word, you know, genuine, a play on words, but I genuinely appreciate you, Slow-Mo. You know why? Because you are the one that allowed this podcast to be what it is today. I am just a subtitle in the name of it.
Stop it.
I'm just here to support you, man. And I appreciate everything you bring to it. And so does the chat. Shout out to everybody there. SloMoBackSlap, everybody.
Except for Erodimus, who says he's unsubbing because he didn't get a shout out. Shout out to Erodimus.
I said shout out to Erodimus already.
Oh man.
Erodimus, hold on.
You know how he is. He needs a little extra. He needs a little extra something. You know, he needs a little extra attention sometimes. So.
Well, you guess what? You know, anybody that wants to slander Slow-Mo publicly, there is a nice little icon that's on this channel now with a $sign on it. He has to read them. So if you want to like publicly, if you want to publicly make him read your super chat, slandering him to the moon,
anything,
you could do it for $1.
I'm not reading anything. Anyway, so like I said, I was playing Split Fiction. That's the gameplay I'm showing right now. I've also been playing. So I got a little dilemma here. Okay, so there are 3 of my black hole live service games: Fortnite, Call of Duty, Marvel Rivals. I have battle passes for all 3. It is difficult trying to complete battle passes for 3 different live service games. Just because the way and they're all different, right? But I want to complete them all. Like I with Call of Duty, I mostly just want the guns. Like once I get the other assault rifle gun that I want, I really don't care about completing it. But with Fortnite got Sub-Zero, the Sub-Zero skin at the end. I want the Sub-Zero skin. So I'm like, man, that was smart of them. You put it at the end, you make it difficult. Not difficult, but you make sure people are going to have to, put that work in to get the skin. Marvel Rivals, there's not really anything at the end of that battle pass. I just want to complete it just because it's normally like not that their battle passes aren't that big. But just trying to balance those 3 games has been a struggle so far. It's been a struggle bus. So in addition to I'm almost done with Mass Effect 1. Like I've almost completed it. And just remembering the storytelling of that game in certain sections, it's really good. And something that I noticed this time, and the first time I played through the Mass Effect Legendary Edition trilogy, I did it on PS5, and so I didn't really. It's still an Unreal Engine 3 game, basically. So it's not like difficult to run on current hardware at all. But today I was playing Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition on PC. And the weirdest thing now, for my 4080 Super, I'm typically getting like 100 and I think I got it capped at 144 frames. So like 144 frames per second. 4K, and it's not even doing like 50% of my GPU, like not even 50% utilization. There are a couple of planets, and you know how like in Mass Effect 1, there's just planets all over the place for you to explore. It's planets galore. Ain't nothing on them. Barely anything is on them, but tons of planets.
You go to the planet and you try to scan it, and the planet doesn't even allow you to scan it because it's like, why do you want to waste your time with this ball of gas?
Exactly. There's nothing here. There's just nothing here. You scan it and you scan it and it's just like, don't bother. Is there something? But no, like some of the planet, like especially when you're doing like the Cerebus like investigations. Yeah. Because like Cerebus got these little whatchamacallums, like not satellites. What is the word I'm looking for?
How about relays?
Colonies. Colony. Yeah. So you go there and there's really nothing there. It's just like the same prefab looking kind of buildings with the same designs, because Mass Effect 1, design wise wasn't the best.
Yeah.
And I started noticing like performance was so weird. Like it was all over the place. It would go from like 144 frames to 90 to 120 to 110 to back to 140. It was just all over the place and herky jerky. And I was just like, I just kind of assume like with all these planets they got, that they probably didn't really like QA test every planet.
Yeah, probably
not. Because all these planets that you can just land on and do absolutely nothing with this barren wasteland, for some of them. It ain't really nothing to do there. They probably didn't have the time to QA test it, which is fine. It's just, with my hardware, it never dropped like below 90, but it was just weird. But I'm almost done with that, and Mass Effect 2 is what I definitely will stream. So probably by next week, I'll be ready to do that because I'm I've been doing all the side content, and I'm about to do the Vermeer mission probably tomorrow. So,
that's a good mission, bro.
Is it right?
That's a great
One of the
mission.
best. And so there's that, and then Grand Theft Auto 5 has an enhanced edition, and Rockstar released an update for it that added like ray tracing, some more visual improvements, some extra content here and there and all that. And so I reinstalled it because I got it free through the Epic Games Store years ago. Reinstalled the game. Yeah, that ray look. It's not like it looks bad. It don't look bad. But the textures haven't really been updated. So it still just looks dated. Like it looks like a game that's 2 generations old, because it is. And regardless of all the extra little improvements they put in here and there, there's just only so much you can do with it. Right. And it runs great and everything. And I'll like some of my friends were installed it too, and unfortunately there's no cross save or cross progression. So like our characters that we had on GTA Online on Xbox, that's like at level 150. Can't use those, so you pretty much got to start over. And we just been kind of just running around doing the typical the typical Grand Theft stuff, shooting people in the face for no reason, that kind of stuff, just walking down the street and just straight dropping one
6'4".
just one hit of quarters left and right, just one hit, just knocking people out for no reason. It's fun. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. And if you ain't got nothing else, we can get into these rapid fires. Hopefully they're rapid fires.
Are these rapid fires, or are these like paragraphs?
Musket. Musket topics,
right?
Musket fire
in the middle of a encyclopedia.
No, this is rapid fire. It's right. We doing rapid fires, okay?
Okay, we doing. Are you
rapid
ready? Fire. I'm ready.
All right, let's okay. So first topic up, Remedy. Now, so it's interesting that I mentioned how GTA and Rockstar came out with an update, and everyone that owned the game, little known top thing here on PC, if you already own the game, you got the enhanced edition of GTA 5 for free.
You sure did.
So they didn't even like say, hey, look, this enhanced edition's like $15 more. Hey, you want to get this ray tracing? You know what you gotta do, buddy. None of that. They just gave it to you for free.
They just gave it to you.
Right?
Ain't that great?
That is great. Yeah, I wonder what Rockstar, but I wonder what Remedy was thinking. Because Remedy, nah, they were on something different. So Remedy releases an update for Control, and this update, they explicitly said, was for Control Ultimate Edition, which is the base game with all the cosmetics and the 3 DLCs. Now, this update, it gives you 3 new suits for whatever the girl's name. I can't remember this girl's name to save my life, but the main character, you get 3 new suits for her. You get this is one of the very first games to ever have DLSS, and so but they never updated it, and now they have updated DLSS to the latest version, DLSS 4, and there was a exclusive mission in the PS4 version of Control. And that exclusive mission is, by the way, I don't know what was going on here in this split screen gameplay.
I was about to ask you, what's happening?
I was distracted by one of my kids. That's almost I was distracted, and that's why I kept falling. Anyway,
I thought you was gonna say I thought you was gonna say somebody else, and I would have been like, that's understandable. You already know.
Oh man.
But we're gonna move on.
Yes, Ramon. Not our gameplay, because I was on point in our gameplay. This is my gameplay with Luca. Anyway, so what was I about to say? Okay, yeah. So Control Ultimate Edition, they updated DLSS, they updated the cosmetics, and there is a exclusive mission that was only on PS4 where Kojima, the legendary Kojima, was voicing a character, and that mission was only on PS4. That's now available everywhere. And so, wild as that is, right? All of that was only for the Ultimate Edition. So people start asking questions like, wait a minute, hold up, pause, wait a minute now. You telling me if I bought the game at launch, early adopter, support the studio, bought it full price, went on ahead, bought all the DLCs, all 3 of them, additional $30, spent more money on your game than someone who bought the Ultimate Edition that was like $60 when you launched the Ultimate Edition with everything included a year later. You're telling me I don't get all this extra stuff for free? And Remedy was like, days later, we have a clarification. This is for all versions of Control. Really? It's not a clarification, buddy. That's a whoopsie. We messed up. Whoopsie. People calling us out. PC gamers is crazy. Let's go give them that version too. So easily to understand that they did this because they announced this update and said it's available, and people still don't have it. People are still like, yeah, I got the game on Epic Game Store. It's not available. I got the game on GOG. The update's not available. You said it was available. What's going on? And so it's just, that's what's going on with Remedy. And if you recall, Forte, remember when they came out with the Ultimate Edition? I think they gave some additional cosmetics or something like that.
Yes,
when they came out with it.
They did.
And people was like, oh, I already own the game. Am I getting that in a free update? And they was like, no, you're not. Buy the game over again for no reason whatsoever, just to get some free cosmetics. So this is not something that Remedy and 505 Games has. This isn't new. They've done this before. Forte, what level of smoke does Remedy deserve for this? What do you think?
Listen, well, first of all the smoke, because it pretty much all developers. And before we get into it, I want to say shout out to the homie Chisel of 420 with the $10 super chat. Says, thanks for the consistent content. Definitely needed more than y'all know. First of all,
that's what's up.
First of all, we appreciate you, bro. And you're going to go down in DPS history as the first person to ever super chat to this channel. And we appreciate that. So we're going to make sure that we...
And what a super chat to say as the first one. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we really appreciate that, man. And thanks again. And as always, man, we're always here to give you guys anything that you kind of need, because trust me, being husbands and fathers and people that work jobs, we know how hard it is out here. So as long as we just want to give you guys something every Thursday that you guys can like kind of sit back and chill with. But we appreciate it. So thanks again. But going back to what you said, sir, all the smoke, because I said the same thing when when Ghost of Tsushima came out on PC, and not Ghost of Tsushima, what game was it? What was it? Days Gone, they just announced. Didn't they just say PC gamers got to pay $10 to get the upgrade for that? I was like, what? I was like, bro, you could charge PlayStation gamers that $10 update fee, but we got games like Skyrim that comes out. When they do an update to it, guess what? We don't pay for it on PC. They just give it to us. You know why? Because they just know that we're not for that. So I don't know what Remedy's thinking and think that they're any different. I don't know why they feel like they can scoot around and I was a person that when I played it, I know because I know you played it when it first came out or around the time it first came out. So you got the base version of Control, and yeah. I didn't play it until it hit the Epic Store. So I got Ultimate instantly. So I only know what the Ultimate version was with ray tracing and everything added to the game because that was all the things they added into the Ultimate Edition. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I appreciate that. But then they start wanting to charge people for stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Like, when did we start doing this? And but then again, I also look at the fact that I don't want to be insensitive because I do know that these studios are trying to find many ways to monetize their properties or their IPs as they can. Who knows what the financial state of a lot of these companies are? I mean, you know, one of our topics is talking about Ubisoft. You would have thought that Ubisoft was damn well off. But it looks like even they're in, you know, a financial struggle with all of the stuff that's going on there. And you start talking about PlayStation canceling all of their live service games and having to recoup that money that they not only put into those studios to make those games, but scrap the stuff that they made already. That we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars that's, you know, kind of just disappearing into a cloud of dust. So I'm very sensitive to the fact that I understand that they want to charge people for some of this stuff because if they want to experience it, that's what and if they want to, you know, make it a valuable piece of property, that's what they have to do. But I just don't think it works on all platforms because once people are used to not having to do something, then they're going to fight against it. The only reason I felt like PSN was able to start charging for PSN is because Xbox already set the blueprint that it was a thing already. PlayStation just finally broke down and did it. But guess what? The one thing Xbox didn't do, they didn't do it on PC because guess what? They know they ain't gonna do it. So why even make people? They tried to find other ways of saying, oh, well, if you got Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you got you know, access to the Xbox library too. And I'm like, but in order to have Ultimate, that has Gold or Xbox Live tied into it. So that's kind of their sneaky way of making PC gamers kind of pay for it if they have an Xbox and a PC. But even they ain't stupid enough to just say, oh, you got to pay for this now because it ain't going to happen. So I just think it's just a lot of different things that's happening with gaming right now when it comes to the inflation of how much games cost. Things are just not going to be free anymore. You know, when they used to think about the free skins you used to get in games like Fortnite and stuff. Like they would just, you know, every once in a while Fortnite will throw you a free skin, but that type of stuff has come very far in between now. And the only time you start seeing people getting stuff like that is when a game is about to die. See First Descendant when they started giving $100 skins away for free. That they was charging people for before. So this just lets me know that the industry is in a finite state where, not saying that Remedy is in any trouble or anything, but the way you stay out of, you know, muddy waters is by monetizing everything that you possibly feel like you can monetize and get as much money out of it as possible. But when you got other studios like Rockstar that makes more money than God when it comes to video games, and they don't have to do something like that. Or if you look at somebody like CD Projekt Red, they don't have to do something like that. I think but they do it and they could get away with it because of the quality of the game, especially when it came to CD Projekt Red charging you for the new DLC that came out on that.
I mean, but that was a ton of content.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's a whole nother drop. That's basically another half of a game right there that they gave you. But if you go back and look at Witcher 3, they gave you a whole DLC free with that thing. You know that when they upgraded,
I thought those DLCs were like $10 each.
No, I think one of them. I think Blood and what's the name? I think was the free one.
Blood and Wine.
Blood and Wine was the free one, I believe. The other one, the big one, was one of them you didn't pay for. One I think was given to you. The other one you paid the $10 for.
Hearts of Fire or something something like that. Like Hearts on Stones. I don't know. Like I don't.
It was the small version. It was the smaller one. You're right about the bigger one being paid for, but the smaller one, I believe they gave to you, or it probably was kind of bundled in with the other one. So you basically paid $5 or whatever it was for you. But it's just the simple fact that it's not equal to what console gamers do in PC. So let's just hope that this is just kind of a phase we're going through at this point, where they're just trying to penny pinch every dime they can. And you don't just see Remedy doing this. You see Xbox, PlayStation, I mean, Nintendo to an extent does it too, by the fact that they are charging horrendous prices for the online that doesn't even have proper voice chat. But I rest on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's just really crappy.
That's what it was.
To basically... it almost seems like it's a ploy to try to like coerce people into spending more money for very little content. And especially kind of crappy from people who supported you and bought your game at launch and actually spent more money on your game than the people who did the Ultimate Edition. And it just kind of smacks of, we instead of giving you the Ultimate Edition, if you own everything. I can understand if all you did was buy the base game and you don't own the DLCs. Hey, if you want, the Ultimate Edition is probably dirt cheap at this point, considering the game came out like 6 years ago. So maybe like $30, which is about the cost of what all the DLCs were combined. The 3 DLCs, they were like $10 each. $30 for the Ultimate Edition to upgrade, and then you get that stuff. I get that if you only own the base game. But if you own the base game and you own the DLCs, like this really shouldn't have been that big an issue. And I understand they fixed it, but it should have never been something that needed to be fixed. It should have just been that way off of the rip. When even Rockstar and Take-Two get that, you got no, like, you have no excuse, essentially. But we can move on to the other rapid fire topic. There's a rumor out that Elder Scrolls Oblivion has a remake in Unreal Engine 5. And this rumor says that this may be coming out next month, actually, in April. The leaker Nate the Hate suggests the announcement of the remake will be coming out in April, and the game will actually release very shortly after that. So, I'm not much of an Elder Scrolls fan. I don't know, Forte, if you are, but what are your thoughts on this, man? What do you think about an Oblivion remake in Unreal Engine? Forte?
Oh, my fault. I was talking and I had muted. That game is so old. It needs that's a game that needs a remake. If you're going to do it. I can see it being a thing. I also think if they're going to do anything, they should. I mean, me personally, I feel like they should go all the way back to Morrowind. And I mean, that's even old. That was a reaction. Hey, listen. You didn't like Morrowind?
No, I did not, man.
Do you even remember Morrowind?
Yes.
It's so old.
Yes, I remember Morrowind. This is what I remember, right? Okay. I remember showing up in some land, and then I remember jumping around everywhere to try to get my athletic stats up or something. Mm-hmm. And then I remember this is awful, but I remember killing a guy, right? Okay. Who's like a really important NPC, and then getting a message that I had ruined the game. And yeah, you can go ahead and continue to keep doing stuff, but it doesn't matter, and you'll never finish the main quest. Congratulations, kind of talk. I was like, what? Damn, all right,
my man was telling you.
I did, go back after killing that guy, but the whole thing is just whatever, man. You know, look, I'm not a big Elder Scrolls fan, or of any of them. So it doesn't really bother me at all. But I do kind of wonder if this remake that's an Unreal Engine might be them trying to kind of test out potentially a potential change of game engine for Elder Scrolls 6.
True, could be. Maybe.
I know they're very particular about creation engine, and part of that is due to how the modders have all the mod tools, and it's very easy for them to be able to make mods or fix problems, that are an issue in those games. So I do wonder how far they're going to do with helping modders and kind of working with that with this Oblivion remake, because maybe that might be something they're just trying to figure out, like, well, how is the modding going to work with this if we're not using creation engine? And I don't know, if this rumor turns out to be true, it definitely could be a case of them trying to see if a move to Unreal Engine could end up being like fruitful for them. Shout out to Rob. It's the $5 super chat. He says, "Oh my god, you know what?
Go ahead and read it."
I'm not reading that. I'm not reading that. Go ahead. I don't have to read nothing. You can read that.
No. Okay, I'll read it.
Erodimus with the $5 super chat. SloMo secretly hates all dark-skinned brothers because he's Canadian, and AMD's GPUs are the best. Forte is better than SloMo in every way. Xbox is better. Yoshi out.
Thanks again for the super chats. Sir, first of all, I am only as great as the person that stands next to me, and SloMo's a giant. But I appreciate you propping me up on the pedestal that you do, because I appreciate everything that you do for us and for the Xbox community. And I want you to keep that energy all the time. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Thanks again for the $5 super chat. But SloMo, you got to get over your hate, man. You got to read these super chats when people super chat to you.
This is all I'm gonna say. I don't hate dark-skinned people. I love everyone.
Are you?
Foul rumors here. Foul rumors. I'm also not Canadian. I've never been to Canada. And I heard Canadians are nice people, except unless you're a light-skinned rapper, then you're something else.
I
But
heard you
other
got
than
mad when South Park did the Blame Canada song. You were kind of mad about that, I heard.
You just completely made that up. Just like Erodimus.
I just heard.
That just be making stuff up. Wait a minute. I'm not defending myself. And it's a super chat full of falsehoods when he says AMD's GPUs are the best. Come on,
listen,
now.
But you notice
buddy.
Wait, hold on. But you notice I didn't focus on that part. I focused on the part where he said that I was better than you, and I said I look up to SloMo as a giant, and I appreciate him putting me on the pedestal on the same level as you. But I look up to you, sir. I ain't even talk about the AMD thing because he wrong about that. But everything else, I gotta, I gotta give him his flowers. But SloMo's a giant. SloMo is a giant.
Yeah.
I know. We need to come up there, bro. We need to come up there and come visit you, Ramon. We definitely.
Ramon, they talking about your country, man. They talking about your country, man. It's terrible.
Drake, Dylan Brooks, and SloMo's got that light skinned energy. Dog, he called you Dylan Brooks. Dylan, that dude. I swear to God, that dude gets paid to mug people on the basketball court.
It's terrible.
Oh.
Anyway. But yeah, that's all. that's all the rapid fire topics we have tonight. That's really all, like Oblivion remake. If it comes out, I mean, look, I'm not gonna play it. If you loved Oblivion, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be all in for it. But
I will say though, I do think that is a good idea if they do remake it, because just like with E-Day for Gears of War, getting the Marcus Phoenix or the Gears of War collection out for people on PlayStation, I feel like everybody that's played Morrowind and people that's played Oblivion are older than dirt, and they're probably not here anymore for the most part. It's only a few of us left. Probably like 20% of the population that played those games are still around. So I think if you want people to be excited for something like an Elder Scrolls 6 when it finally comes around, other than just the natural hype that's going to come from just the name Elder Scrolls, I do think it would be in the best interest to like probably get people back into like what those games kind of meant over the times of the games leading up, because at some point they're going to end up doing Skyrim again, and they're going to remake that game, even knowing it feels like they've been doing it since 2011 anyway. So I do think that they should do it at some point, just to get people more accurate with the new things, the new technology that's out there. Can you imagine a game like Oblivion with the technology that's out there now? That game would be freaking incredible. But that's all I got.
Yeah. I mean, I'm about to say something slanderous.
Oh, here we go.
But all right, look.
You see two people
the
like
difference
that.
Is
two people like that tweet from that super chat from Erodimus, just letting you know. So two other people for some reason hit that like button on that. I was not one of them, so I don't want you to think that I was one. I mean, I will hit it right now and put it up to 3. But
y'all some haters, man. Y'all some serious haters. Why is it 5 now? Why?
It's 5? Oh my God! Just because I brought attention to it, don't mean that we need to slander SloMo in real life. SloMo is great at what he does, and we want him to stay around for as long as he can, because listen, he's a very reactional person. He has emotions like everyone else, and we want him to know that he is welcome and cared about here on the DPS podcast by the hashtag 1%ers, or the 10%ers, I should say. But SloMo, go ahead. Hit that like button too, like Erodimus said. Appreciate you guys.
Anyway,
SloMo's like lost for words. Like, what's happening?
No. It's just, I lost my train of thought. I think I got it back now. Elder Scrolls is the same game over and over and over again.
Yes.
The differences between Morrowind and Oblivion and what's the other, and Skyrim are not like, it's not like drastic differences here, okay?
Right.
It's not, it is, yeah. So if you like one, you're probably gonna love the other ones too. So, no biggie. I hope you guys enjoy. Even you guys that want to slander me tonight, I hope you guys enjoy. Look, hey, rapid fire topics is done. Let's get into our first main topic. And this one seems to be like a reoccurring thing going on with Ubisoft. And Ubisoft is still going through it, especially with some of their shareholders definitely not liking the direction of things and the decision making of the leadership. A minority shareholder in Ubisoft has accused the company this week of not disclosing alleged discussions with Microsoft, EA, and other publishers about acquiring Ubisoft IP. Now, Ubisoft has issued a statement in response to this news coming out, saying that they are that the review of any options to sell their IP are ongoing, and that the board has established an independent committee to oversee the process of, I quote, extracting the best value from Ubisoft's assets and franchises for all stakeholders, unquote. So I guess their response here is saying that they have not responded. They have not told the shareholders of these discussions because they're still ongoing.
Right.
And they're not going to tell you about something that doesn't end up happening. So nothing has been decided yet. So, cool your jets, essentially. Ubisoft is, so I guess like my question here to you, Forte, is if Ubisoft is going to start selling IPs in order to kind of keep the lights on, in order to survive, first question is, which IPs do you think they would sell? And would that ultimately doing this ultimately turn the fortunes for the company around? What do you think?
I think turning the fortunes of the company around, if they sell the IPs that I think they would sell, I think that's the end of, it's like almost the end of their gaming division side, because what would they have at that point? It's like they're like cutting, because I would say not Mortal Kombat, that's just WB. You talk about Ubisoft. Splinter Cell, which they haven't done anything with, outside of like cameo appearances in certain games. Assassin's Creed would definitely be one of the ones that they would have to shop, because that's probably their biggest IP. Then you're talking about games like Rainbow Six. Somebody would definitely want that due to the fact that it's a live service game, and that game still has a huge not a huge player base, but a substantial enough player base where it's still a player in that type of market, where arena shooters aren't the biggest, but that game is more of a tactical shooter. And there's not too many games like that out there that still garner, a player base. But and then I think the Watchdog IP would be another one that they could kind of spin off, which they haven't done anything with in a while. And then I also think Ghost Recon would be the other one, because Ghost Recon they haven't done anything with.
Well, Ghost Recon is a part of Tom Clancy, and I think if you're selling Ghost Recon, then like it's under the Tom Clancy umbrella, so you would have to just sell the Tom Clancy IP.
You have to sell that's what I'm saying. You have to sell the whole IP.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So that all of that would just go. So, and then like when I'm thinking about it, that's their tent poles at that point. Like, what are they after that? Like, I would even think something like Rayman. Like Rayman is another big one. Like somebody like Nintendo could probably pick that up. I think even Xbox could pick that up, because that's like the only platformer that is recognizable side scroller other than Mario. Like, I love Rayman Legends. That's like,
here's the deal games. Though, right?
Go ahead.
So Rainbow Six Siege has been going on for like a decade now.
Yeah,
they even did, and I could have made a rapid fire topic of this, but like they just did an update trailer of what do they call it, Rainbow Six Siege X.
Yeah. Which
is like all this new things that they're doing to update the game. That's a Tom Clancy IP, and that game has, it's not doing, I guess, enough numbers to justify. It's not Fortnite, clearly, right? So it's not like propping up the entire company, but it's doing enough numbers to justify it still being around. And that's it. Like, even For Honor is still around. I mean, I saw something saying For Honor is new. Year 9 season 1's about to start. I'm like, freaking year 9, good grief, right? I just think their biggest IPs, the Tom Clancy IP, Assassin's Creed, like I could see them probably selling like Far Cry.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Far Cry.
Right, But Assassin's Creed is their most successful IP right now.
But that's the one everybody's going to want.
But if you sell it, what are you doing after you sell it?
That's what I'm asking. That's my whole dilemma with this whole, topic. It's still a great topic, but it really comes back to, like, if you're willing to sell off if you're selling off IPs, what IPs are going to give you the best bang for your buck? Like I said, you haven't done anything with Splinter Cell. So the Splinter Cell IP, even though it is still valuable to somebody, that's the thing. It's more valuable to a person like Xbox than it is to like PlayStation, because it's kind of been synonymous with Xbox, because the original was on the original Xbox. So even though it has always been made by Ubisoft,
I can see Splinter Cell because it's popular. And they ain't doing nothing with it.
And they're not doing anything with it. But how much money are you going to get for that?
I don't think Splinter Cell is going to come cheap, because there's a huge catalog that comes with that. Yeah. Then you got just the popularity of Sam Fisher itself. Like, sure, I mean, I think a very ambitious company like something like Amazon could then go outsource someone to make Splinter Cell games.
Right.
Like, say they've been working with Crystal Dynamics, because they bought the TV rights for Tomb Raider. So they've been working with Crystal Dynamics on a new Tomb Raider game, as well as having a Tomb Raider TV show that's on Netflix. And then I think they're doing a live action Tomb Raider on Amazon Video. They could do something similar with Splinter Cell, where they do a live action Splinter Cell TV show or movie, right, in addition to outsourcing someone actually making the game. And that this will actually be putting that IP to some use, considering Ubisoft has not been able to produce a Splinter Cell game in like 2 generations, almost 2 generations now. Mm-hmm. The last time we saw Sam Fisher in a game, it was either a Ubisoft mobile game that, ain't nobody trying to see that. And then there was a free DLC to Ghost Recon Wildlands, where Sam Fisher was in that. Yep. So like it's just not enough. That's not getting you're not really getting the most out of that IP. I don't think selling like your biggest IP is doing you any favors. If you're doing this, you're doing it to kind of give you a influx of cash flow, while you hopefully are making moves in your product line, to actually sustain yourself. But the reality here with Ubisoft is that their games sell. Like, when they come out with games, typically when you look at Sarcona, you see them charting. Annually, you see them charting. The problem is that Ubisoft has got as many developers as Microsoft Gaming has now. Mm-hmm. But Microsoft Gaming generates far more revenue than Ubisoft does. Ubisoft is in like the range revenue wise of like a Capcom. Mm-hmm. But Capcom ain't nowhere near the size of Ubisoft. Ubisoft has like 30 studios. Yeah. 30 plus studios worldwide. They got like Ubisoft Budapest, Ubisoft Tokyo, Ubisoft, Billy Bob's Garage. Like, there's always like a Ubisoft in a city, right? They got Massive Entertainment, they got Red Storm, they got all these studios. And every time they drop a game, it's like a lead studio with like 4 or 5 other support studios helping them make that game. And their process of doing that, in addition to a lot of the tools from what I've been told that they use, are fantastic. Snowdrop engine is fantastic, one of the best engines in game engines in the industry. But the problem is that you got too many people. There's too many people and not enough money being made. And when you get games that bomb, like Star Wars Outlaws bombs, but that's a licensed game. So Disney wants their money. And so you actually need that game to do far better than any of your usual games because of the license. Mm-hmm. Prince of Persia Lost Crown comes out. The game is a really good game, but unfortunately it didn't sell. Mm-hmm. So what happens? The studio gets disbanded, the sequel gets canceled. They're in a tight spot. Maybe Prince of Persia should be something they sell to. Like something like IP that is recognizable, and therefore there is there's a back catalog to it, and there is some value to it. It's not like Phoenix Rising, like that game. That was one game. Like there's not a lot of history there. There's not a lot of value in it, but there's going to be a ton more value in Prince of Persia and Splinter Cell. But the studio, the publishers that they talked about, I really don't want to see them buying any of this IP. I definitely don't got no faith in EA doing right by this. EA is also sitting on a treasure trove of IP that's not getting used. Or when it does get used, they don't do a sequel like with Dead Space. You do a Dead Space remake and then decide to not do a sequel, even though the remake was very good, very high quality, but it didn't make enough money for you. Therefore, you're not doing the sequel. I just don't see them really taking any of that IP and really doing something worthwhile with it. And if they did do something worthwhile with it, they probably have some astronomical sales target that wouldn't get hit, in any reality. And it ended up not happening. Microsoft acquired ABK. How many of them games are in Game Pass? Remember all the talk during the acquisition? Oh, they're going to bring back Prototype. Oh, all the IP, all the games. We're going to get more Crash Bandicoot. No, you ain't getting any of that. None of it. Matter of fact, you don't even have all the Call of Duty games in Game Pass yet. You got 2: Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 6. Where's the rest of them? Not there. Prototype, not there. Where are all of the ABK IP? There's nothing happening there, and so it's just. If they bought Ubisoft IP, you know what's going to happen? Maybe they put that IP in Game Pass. Maybe. But making a new game, I don't know. I don't think it, I don't know if that happens. So I think Ubisoft just needs to bite the bullet, change up some things in their development pipeline. Unfortunately, custom studios. I hate to see people lose their jobs, but you're kind of you're overcommitted with all of these studios that you can't maintain. So you gotta get it figured out, make some hard decisions, and if you recall, Forte, there was that whole thing that Tencent wanted control, or at least a say in how Ubisoft would be managed going forward. And I don't think you hear that kind of talk unless leadership, there's a huge problem with how leadership is going about business. And considering everything that we've heard about, a lot of the other aspects of how Ubisoft is managed, definitely a lot of the people that were the bad actors and that are no longer working at Ubisoft anymore, but a lot of the people still are, that were involved in that. And so I don't know, man. I think selling their IP ain't exactly the move.
No, I mean, I don't think so either. But it really just depends on the financial state of them right now. So if they can muster just maybe getting off of some of their smaller stuff, and that kind of stabilizes whatever situation they're going through, then that would probably be the best move. But if I'm one of these publishers or somebody like Xbox or like you said, Tencent or Amazon that feel like they have a good chance at running some of these IPs, I'm going after the ones that really matter. And the one that really matter to them right now is Assassin's Creed. So not saying you know how it is. You always shoot for the top and then you step down from there. So I can see that being a conversation with that first, and then as negotiations happen and they start talking about other IPs, that's probably where it's going to settle. Because like my biggest thing is, what is Ubisoft if especially Assassin's Creed, because that's the one that they're consistently updating and stuff. What is that company going to even look like if they don't have that big hitter? Like that. It's not like Xbox where they can sell the Halo IP and which is their biggest IP. They can sell that if just hypothetically, but the fact it wouldn't hurt Microsoft one bit. they would just keep on going. That's kind of what you see when you're talking about these corporations that are truly backed by gaming. Like when it comes to PlayStation, Sony depends on PlayStation, and Nintendo, that's all Nintendo is. So they depend on that. And Nintendo is probably more like a regular third-party developer that makes their own console than anybody, because they are wholly dependent on how their hardware and how their games sell. Just like 2K is dependent on microtransactions for NBA 2K and Grand Theft Auto and all the copies it's going to sell. Ubisoft's adhered to how Assassin's Creed's going to do and all the other games. So it's going to be real interesting to see what the fallout or anything that really comes of this. It's just more of gaming is kind of in a weird place right now due to the fact that people aren't buying as many games as they used to buy, because they're playing games that anybody can play for free. Most of them.
Yeah. I also used to have alerts that would pop up on the screen for super chats. And I guess it's been so long that functionality probably broke many OBS updates ago, and I never fixed it. So I'll get that fixed before the next show. But we did have another super chat. If you could grab Ramon's super chat.
Oh, you really don't want to read super chats. I got you. Ramon Terrell. Oh, hold on.
Gotta do it right. Ramon Terrell with the $5 Canadian super chat. If you're up here, if you up here ray tracing, not prey tracing with your whole chest, stand up.
Not console prey tracing.
I said not console prey tracing.
You didn't say console. You just said prey tracing.
Oh, you're not console prey tracing. With your whole chest, stand up. Not so fast, AMD gamers. Yoshi out.
You love that, don't you?
The only time I have liked you using the voice changer has been for super chat. So yeah,
that's what we're gonna do. Every time we read super chats, Yoshi's going to read the super chats for us.
Shout out to Yoshi.
Shout out to Yoshi. If that's how Yoshi actually sounds, by the way. We really don't know.
But no, yeah, look, man. Are you done with Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Is Ubisoft done with Ubisoft? I mean, I don't know.
Well, Gentle Stone said just don't F with his Writers Republic. I forgot they actually made that game.
I forgot they made that game too.
Forgot they made that game.
Hey, look, just make sure I get my just make sure I get my Division 3. That's all I care about at this point.
That game's.
Excuse what? What? We say what? How about that?
I ain't gonna say.
Well, okay.
That game.
Don't say.
That game's like. Like Destiny right now. Life support. That game's been on life support.
You know what? It has.
People have been coming into the room asking, like, how much longer is this vegetable going to stay here?
You know what? It has been a life support, but unlike Destiny game players, Division players have acknowledged that from the very beginning. And Destiny players are just now getting their head around the fact that their game's dead.
The fact that Destiny still has over 70-something thousand people that play it every day is wild.
It's still
it's probably
way
more than
down.
That,
That's not.
It used to be an average of 1 million people a day across all platforms, so it's definitely way down.
Well, it's gonna get lower.
At some point, yeah, you're right. I mean, if you keep saying something is going to happen, at some point it's going to happen. You'll be right at some point in the future. It just depends how long it takes to get there.
Oh no! I mean, well, look, it going up to the 70 or wherever it's at right now is good considering it was lower not too long ago.
So what do you think? So let me ask you: do you think Destiny will be dead before Valve releases another game? Which one you think is going to happen first? Valve making another game, or Destiny's going to die first?
Valve releasing another game.
You actually got faith that Valve's going to release a game?
I heard a rumor.
Oh, you heard a rumor. Okay.
I heard about something that might be coming later this year. That's why I say that.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about that offline.
Gregor, Division 2 still gets new content too. Don't talk about things you don't understand, Gregor.
What kind of content do they get?
This man, they ain't showed up in the chat for weeks. And we start talking about Destiny, and then he finally wants to say something. Don't come in and the only thing you say is something that's insinuating something inaccurate. Don't be coming in here with that nonsense.
Leave that anyway. Man alone. He's one of my brothers.
The Division's actually got like a big expansion coming called is Battle for Brooklyn or the Battle of Brooklyn or something like that. It's supposed to be coming.
Is the bridge in it?
Probably not.
In the story, like half, not even half, probably like 3/4 of New York has already been destroyed. So it's like the fact that there even still is a Brooklyn is shocking to me because it's very little of New York that's still standing in the Division universe. So anyway, but yeah, there's supposed to be something going on in Brooklyn. So we go to Jay-Z's house at some point.
Moving on. Project Amethyst is a collaboration.
Movie,
yes, and I think the idea behind it is that the colors, Sony is blue, PlayStation's blue, AMD is red. You put them together. It was just like, all right, that's corny. That's corny.
It's purple. It's weird.
Yeah, it was just so corny, but whatever, right? So anyway, look. Project Amethyst is a collaboration between Sony and AMD, and working with like AI, machine learning, neural networks, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And earlier this week, Sony announced that sometime in 2026, so this is next year, they will begin implementing further upscaling solutions similar to FSR4, which has just released and is getting a lot of praise for its performance. Most notably, the improvements to the visual quality, which has been a sore spot for FSR since its inception. Has typically been worse image quality compared to DLSS and even Intel's XeSS. But FSR4 being finally, being implemented somewhat so as DLSS is, that is that level of improvement with using hardware tensor cores, using AI machine learning has brought some big improvements. Now, unfortunately, right now, just to talk about FSR4 for a moment, it's only available on GPUs, AMD GPUs of 9070 and 9070 XT. It'll eventually expand to other GPUs, but that's the only ones that are available at the moment. And of course, as we know, Sony has their own upscaler called PSSR. And what this is looking to be would be improvements of what the next evolution of PSSR would be, and they would have some things there that are, you know, similar to what is being done in FSR. This whole thing has been weird to me this entire week, because I keep seeing people saying things definitively so that's just not true. And it's just like, where'd you read this information? And then when you ask that question, they don't really like have an answer. So let's just do some dispelling of things before we really get into the discussion. PSSR is not the beta of FSR4. PSSR was independently developed by Sony, while FSR4, I mean, FSR has been developed for development for years, but specifically FSR4 was also independently developed from Sony as well. Now, I think what people just don't understand is what Project Amethyst actually is, and maybe they didn't even read the information that was out there about it. But essentially, this is a collaboration between two companies who on their own don't have, say, the kind of resources that Nvidia has in this arena. And so, of course, they are behind where Nvidia is with advancements and level of quality and so on and so forth. But together, in collaboration, essentially they are updating a repository that both companies have access to, and using each other's expertise and advancements to help each other's own independent solutions get better, if this makes sense. Am I making sense, Forte? Okay, I'm making so much sense. Forte is speechless.
Oh,
but,
shoot, I literally, I was literally, no, you're making sense.
So I say all that to say, because like there's a lot of misinformation going on, and we understand what the root of it is. It's fanboyism. You know, the people saying PSSR has failed, and it's like, no, PSSR is essentially not even at a 2.0 phase. What was DLSS like before it hit 2.0? Forte, you want to tell everybody?
Where was it at before?
Yeah.
Before it hit 2, it was pretty bad.
It was horrendous.
It was pretty bad. It wasn't. It definitely isn't the. It definitely isn't the lady it is today.
DLSS 1.0. It had the visual quality was terrible. It also would do a hit on performance, especially if you try to use it in conjunction with, say, turning on ray tracing, which when it was introduced with the RTX 2000 series GPUs, like they were not capable of really being able to do ray tracing in any like serious or heavy implementation in a game. So it was bad. It was abysmal. But Nvidia didn't quit. Nvidia didn't, take it all. Hey, look, we failed. Let's just quit. Stop while we're not ahead. Stop embarrassing ourselves. Let's just move on. They kept working on it. It improved. It got better. Look where it is now. DLSS 4 transformer model in quality mode looks better than native resolution using temporal anti-aliasing. You're not going to get there if you're just going to immediately call it a failure. And I'm not saying DLSS is going to get there next year when they update what they say that next evolution of PSSR is. They're literally talking about PSSR 2.0 is what they're really talking about. Right. And I'm not saying it's going to be better than DLSS 4, but it will be better. And I'm also not saying it's going to be FSR 4 because it's not the same hardware. It is a console. And therefore, with different hardware in that console, it's not going to work exactly the way FSR 4 works on these GPUs, but it will get better. It's just that when you got fanboys who want to can't wait to say that something has failed, any kind of news they hear is twisted and turned and flipped around and turned inside out into, oh, that's bad news. If they're talking about improving, and which, look, right now, PSSR ain't the best, right? But they're talking about improving it. Well, how is that bad news? Doesn't make any sense to me. Forte, what are your thoughts, man?
I think you hit it right on the head when you talked about fanboyism. You know, at some point, something has to. You have to start somewhere. If we think about ray tracing, starting with the 2000 series cards. Did they really have ray tracing? Was it really ray tracing? I mean, you know, the whole thing that I used to start, like, why would you pay more money to have a feature that tanks your frame rate? The one thing you're trying to get more of. So how is this a feature? It's a feature you could turn on, but it literally kills your frame rate. And once again, when the 3000 series, the 30 series came out, same thing. Okay, it's slightly better. It's slightly better, but it still kills your frame rate. So what did they end up doing? Developing a software that allowed you to basically have the best of both worlds, have ray tracing turned on, and still have high performance. And that's where DLSS came in. And even that was kind of not even kind of. It was pretty bad. When, like you said, when 1.0. Before 2.0 and it got a little bit better, but before then it was horrendous. Like, you would have like stutters and games would crash. You couldn't even play a game sometimes when you had it enabled. So most of the time it was just a feature that was there in spirit that you just didn't even interact with because it didn't work right. Compared to like where it is now, it's almost in a necessity. Games are kind of, I feel like developers build games knowing that frame gen and everything is going to be something that people are going to be taking advantage of, because it's going to take the load off the overall performance that you have to do on your side and make it easier for your games to run on more simplistic platforms. When I'm talking about PC and stuff, where consoles are always, they're closed ecosystems and everything is pretty much to spec across those systems. So this is nothing new to me. It's like, it's gonna have growing pains. PSSR 1.0 is not gonna be what 2.0 is gonna be, and it's not gonna be 3.0 is gonna be probably by the time we get to the PS5, PS6, when that one finally does come out. You're gonna see an iteration of it over the course of the rest of this generation. I can see them within the next 2-3 years, or the next 2 years, maybe even the next year, after they get some more theory crafting going when it comes to just the overall way that's going to function in games. they're going to get better and better and better at their own tools, because this is something brand new. Even though it's not a new technology per se to gaming, it's a new technology for PlayStation to be developing and for their studios to be implementing into their games. And guess what? They'll only get better and better at it as time goes on. You know what? Pretty much just like Ninja Theory got better and better with mocap and facial animations and all of those things that were
right. It's an advancement. It's an advancement in technology. Yeah,
exactly. And everybody can't do that. And guess what? Ninja Theory wasn't great at what they did when they first started implementing it. The thing you see now is just the tools of the trade coming to fruition and them being able to, hone that technology to the way they want it and wield it at the edge of a sword. PlayStation is not even halfway to that yet. So as much as we want to give it crap, I still applaud them for developing something like that to be on a system platform, and it's something that they holistically own, and it's only going to get better as more and more developers inside of their ecosystem get used to it, and it's only going to get better as they build it out over the course of the rest of this generation to what we know is going to be 2.0 and most likely 3.0 or whatever by the time we get to the PlayStation 6.
Right. I just want to read something that Mark Cerny from Sony said about this. This is he said this back in like December, by the way. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, shout out to the homie Sycamore. He asked, how do I got those numbers for Destiny with those many people playing? I kind of pulled them out the top of my ASS, but I went to actually go look it up. Wait, hold on. I went to go look it up, though, because I know it's still around that many people. So I'm on activeplayer.com, where it literally tracks activity of all games out there on Steam. As of right now, Destiny 2 has, in the last hour, 61,333 people playing it. Active people that played the game, and these are individual people that played the game over the course of 30 days, 8.1 million people still played the game in the last 30 days. Individual people. They lost 155,000 people over the course of the last 30 days. The game is still being streamed in videos. Over 3 million people literally.
Where you get this information?
Yeah, I'm gonna DM it to you right now.
I don't believe these numbers.
I'm just DM it to you right now.
That is cap. like it's cap.
Hold on.
Big old cap going on.
I want everybody to hear this as you. I've literally. Where's your here? You are right here. I'm DMing you.
Okay, let's get back to the topic because literally no one cares about Destiny.
There's the link. Go ahead and click it.
I'm going to quote something that Mark Cerny said about Project. Good grief, I can't say the word. Amethyst back in December. Something that no one wants to talk about Destiny.
I just told everybody. I just told everybody. There's the link inside the chat. So if anybody wants to verify those findings for themselves,
Forte, can you stop cutting? Can you stop cutting off this conversation to talk about this dead game? Thank you.
And like Game Logic said, stats don't lie.
Anyway,
shout out to you, Game Logic.
Project Amethyst, according to Mark Cerny, is not about proprietary technology for PlayStation. So I'm going to repeat that. It's not about proprietary technology for PlayStation. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Through this technology collaboration, we're looking to support broad work and machine learning across a variety of devices. So like, I think that's important for people to understand, so that like there are also the other side of the coin that seems to think that everything, that any advancements that AMD makes with FSR 4 automatically means like this is not going to be things that can be implemented on other platforms that also use AMD technology, like say an Xbox. Like, and it is not saying that like directly, like Xbox is gonna, like, the next Halo game is going to be using but actually on PlayStation maybe it will, but not on an Xbox. It's not using PSSR, right? But advancements in upscaling or just AI and machine learning in general that Sony uploads to this Project Amethyst, whole repository library thing, that can go into the next, implementation of FSR. And then that could eventually end up on something like an Xbox. You see what I mean? Like, it's not a direct one-to-one, but the goal of this project was never to just have it be locked down exclusive, the advancements, not PSSR. PSSR is going to only go wherever Sony puts it. But when you do a collaboration, there's a give and take. So you're taking expertise from AMD to help improve your software. The give is that you're also giving some of that. And AMD doesn't have a platform to lock that down to.
That's true.
I mean, they could do it like DLSS, where only AMD GPUs would have access to it. But they right now it's just the 9070, 9070 XT, but traditionally with FSR, it has been something that if it's been capable of running it, then they allow it to run their upscaler. We can see that being something that would then be used on anything that is AMD architecture in the future, as long as the hardware can actually be capable of using it effectively. And that could definitely be, maybe not an Xbox Series S, but could be an Xbox Series X. You never know, right? So
no, you're right.
I say these things because just, it's kind of fanboy busting, because fanboys they always want to tell you one side of the story. They never want to tell you the full story, though. Just one side, not the full story. Not all the information, just a little bit of information that make their side seem like, the bee's knees. And I think that's important to add to this conversation, because I don't see that being talked about often enough.
Right.
Anything else you want to say about that? Rodman says cap, SloMo. What's cap, sir? I don't. What am I capping on?
Oh man.
When has Sony ever done anything for the good of the industry?
Man, here we go.
You don't think you understand what quid pro quo means? You can't just take and then don't get. If you're doing a collaboration with another company, you can't just take in things and not give anything away.
True.
Do you believe it when you see it? Well, you said that before when it came to Xbox games going to PlayStation last year. Remember that? You believe it now, don't you? Okay. Wow. Anyway, so anything else you want to say about this before we get into this last topic?
No, I'm good. Let's go.
All right. Let me find this here. Okay. Last topic of the night. Here's another one for the fanboy narrative busting. So Xbox and Microsoft Gaming, Xbox and Asus have teamed up on a particular handheld. And a lot of what is being said out there right now is that Xbox has a handheld coming out this year. And it's kind of like not what people are saying it is. It's not an Xbox handheld. It's an Asus handheld with Xbox branding. The Xbox handheld we've all heard about since like last year, since like literally GDC last year. Phil Spencer first started talking about it publicly when GDC is coming up very soon. So almost a full year since they started publicly talking about an Xbox handheld. That is not this. That's not even, that might not even come out next year. It's probably like it may be 2027 before that actually comes out. What this is a Xbox branded ROG Ally, essentially. Brian, he said ROG Ally but green. Can I say it, Forte?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say it. It's not green. There's going to be a black one. There's going to be a white one. Don't ask me why I know that. Just don't ask. But just there'll be a black one. There'll be a white one. There'll be two different colors. But it's a ROG Ally. If you've seen a ROG Ally before, you know what this essentially is. And it's going to run just like any other PC, Windows-based PC handheld that's out in the market. Like this isn't like all of the crazy, like the things that like Sarah Bond, I wouldn't say this is crazy, but Sarah Bond said the biggest, what was the word? And she said the biggest advancement?
Technological leap.
Yes. See, this isn't that. This isn't what she's talking about. This is literally an Asus PC handheld with Xbox branding. That's it. And even the project name has leaked. I mean, this is some information that, you know, we were privy on, but like Project Keenan is the project name. I mean, it's just a PC handheld with an Xbox button, bro. Like this it's just a PC handheld with an Xbox button.
Why are we making a big deal of this? And it's just a PlayStation with.
Yeah, and I kind of like at this point now, I'm kind of like concerned about like how this keeps like the way this keeps being stated to people, because I'm not concerned about it really, but what I'm kind of somewhat concerned about is that I do think that because they keep talking about things that aren't ready to be shown, and the more you talk about stuff, but you say it in vague terms in interviews and over a long course of time, it things get mixed up.
True.
And people think that, oh, so this is the Xbox handheld that they was talking about. So like, but it's not. But you're not going to be able to convince people that, because you keep talking about things before you're really ready to show anything. And I think this is probably the reason why, like a Nintendo just refused to even mention, even though everyone knew there was a Switch 2 coming out, they just refused to even acknowledge its existence until they were ready to actually show you what it was going to be and talk about it. And that's probably the best way to make sure that you're not going to have any kind of confusion, any kind of like remember when the first rumors about the Switch 2 came out, and whether they delayed it because they didn't want to step on the toes of the original Switch or not, but like they just refused to acknowledge it existed. And then they came out, and then it was all, oh, there's another Switch model coming out. It's the Switch 2. No, it was the Switch OLED. It was just the OLED version of the same old, outdated Switch. And it's like, they never added to those rumors. There was never any quotes from Doug Bowser or Reggie Fils-Aimé on what they were working on. This was all like games media with their sources speaking on things out of turn.
Yep. And
I wonder if them speaking on, Phil Spencer speaking on this at GDC last year, kind of, you know, this Xbox handheld has been in people's mouths, you know, on or off for like the last year, and then they do a collaboration with Asus, which likely, it definitely is like, you know, we want to see how much, we put some Xbox branding on this thing. Let's see how, what that may do in comparison to what a ROG Ally and a ROG Ally X are doing. Sure, but it's not like really doing anything any differently than any other PC Windows-based handhelds are doing. So Forte, what are your thoughts on this? Like, do you think, I don't even know the name of it. Maybe they show it tomorrow or something, or maybe next week. Maybe they show it soon. But when they show it, and whatever like model name it has, what do you think this is going to do on the market in general? Is it going to do more than what you get from your typical PC handheld, or is it going to just get ignored?
I don't think it will get ignored, because I do think this will be the first handheld that I do think, like it being a ROG in partnership. I think this is like their way of testing, because I do think that Xbox is still going to come out with their own handheld. It's still a little ways out for that to happen, but I think this is going to be the proving ground.
They plan on it.
They plan on it. They still plan on doing it.
They are absolutely working on it right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely being developed and worked on and tested, and they're looking at ways to, like potentially make it like more comfortable in your hand. And like, there's an Xbox handheld being worked on right now.
Yeah.
But I think, so there's a difference between they're working on it and it actually launches.
Oh, well, yeah, that's how R&D is.
Right. So they could be working on it.
You'll see the light of day.
Right. So like, let's say if it's due to come out in 2 years, and in 2 years is 2027, 2 years ago, Xbox was like, if you want to get a Bethesda game,
here we go.
You better get yourself Game Pass, because only devices that have access to Game Pass are going to get these Bethesda games.
So you were trying to say
you want to get an Xbox Game Studios game, you better have a PC or an Xbox, because they ain't nowhere else to get it. We acquired these publishers to provide exclusive content for Xbox gamers. That was them. That was their stance 2 years ago. What's their stance today? No red lines, games everywhere.
No red lines.
So, and whether you want to believe it or not, a lot of that definitely is being pushed by people who didn't make their bones in Microsoft through gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So when that is the case, and we already know, and we've seen articles talk about how some of those same individuals was telling Phil Spencer, why are we still doing this again?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we still making hardware again? It wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination for me. Maybe it would be for some other people, but it wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination for me if they just said, they keep looking at these hardware numbers,
mm-hmm.
which are always double-digit negatives.
Yep.
And they currently aren't even stocking shelves. Correct me if I'm wrong, GameStop. You guys still ain't getting Xboxes, right?
Not Series X's. I only seen 2 in the last month. Well, the one with the disk drive, I should say.
So, 2 Xboxes stocked in the last month.
Disk drive ones.
In comparison, how many Switches did you get?
I got brand new Switch Mario Switches, Mario Wonder Switch OLEDs a week ago. like how many? Like ballpark number. More than 20.
More than 20. How many PlayStations you get in that time frame?
Here we go.
No, I'm just trying to make a point of like they're not producing units.
More than a pallet that can fit through my store. More than one pallet.
So Sony and Nintendo are producing units that they intend to sell, and Xbox is barely producing any units because they're not selling. So you save yourself money by not producing units that will just aren't, you know, like you're not getting. So the people understand how retail work. It's not like Microsoft is literally going to Forte's store and just putting it on the shelf.
Right.
And like, oh man, we ain't making no money. GameStop has to buy it from Microsoft, and then they give it to Forte's store, and then Forte has to convince customers to come in to buy it.
Yeah. That's how
when it's not moving units, GameStop is like, uh-oh. I think I might have. Did I just lose?
Did you just lose the podcast?
I may have. I don't like. Yeah, my. I think I'm still here. Cause
I have it. I have it running on my. I have the. It still says.
I have no drop frames. I have no drop frames, but YouTube. The YouTube page refreshed for. Okay, all right. So what's up, John? John says, says you can still hear me. Okay, good. Because I thought the stream just dropped, which is wild because I was just talking about YouTube not having those kind of. I haven't had that kind of issue with YouTube in years. Anyway,
years.
When GameStop is like, I can't move the units that I bought before. I don't need no more units right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they do run out of those units, they look at how long it took them to sell those units, and they say, hey, this time, Microsoft, instead of that number we asked for last time, let's drop that down about 35%, because I don't think we need that many. And when that's not just one retailer saying that, that's a bunch of retailers saying that, you're not moving units. And when the point I'm making here is that when you're not moving units, that's not like lost on investors, that's not lost on shareholders, that's not lost on the executives, on the board members, when they're talking about when you're talking about your next hardware and they're looking at your current hardware and you can't sell your current hardware. I'm just saying.
That's true.
It wouldn't surprise me if they say, look, we're doing great on software. Avowal's doing fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty, fantastic. We're making improvements in cloud gaming. Fantastic. We're making improvements with Game Pass subscriptions on PC. Marvelous. We putting Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation, and it's charting. It's the hottest thing in them PSN streets.
You wildin' right now.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Why are we gonna make more of that? We can just put our games on all this other stuff and make this money. I want to make money. Don't you want to make money, Phil and Sarah and Matt?
They make money, they said, though.
Yeah. Hey, look, I can make money if I barely, if the one thing that I can't, that is a anchor on me making money, if I'm not making it no more, yeah, I'm making money. Yeah, I'm making money. You know, we laid off some people, and you know, I don't make as much hardware as I used to make, and yeah, but we balanced that budget. We balanced it.
We balanced the budget. Wow.
I mean, am I out of line for saying that? I'm just saying right now, like, they are working on making the next handheld.
Hey,
but don't confuse that with they're definitely going to launch the next handheld.
I think it's a good possibility they'll launch the next handheld. The only thing
I mean, it's definitely a good possibility.
I think it's more.
But it's not. There's a guarantee. There's a guarantee you're getting a PlayStation 6. Shout out to King. I love the brother. He wrong, and I think he wrong. PlayStation 6 is happening, right?
Well,
there's a guarantee that's happening.
That the whole PlayStation no PlayStation 6 thing from King is a play on words. If you didn't know,
what's the play?
So his whole thing. Okay, so is there has PlayStation announced the PlayStation 6 yet?
No.
So we're, like you said, we're just under the assumption that a PlayStation 6 is coming, right? At some point. That's what we're under that assumption, right? Everybody pretty much.
Yeah,
right?
But it's like a 99.9999%.
But that's why you think he says the hashtag 98% always right. Kind of think about the two things together. Hashtag 98% always right. And the fact that PlayStation hasn't announced the PlayStation 6 yet. So until PlayStation comes out and says PlayStation 6 is coming, hashtag no PlayStation 6. So he's built in his little 2% that he might be wrong.
No, he's definitely wrong. It's coming. Like there's no built in. It's coming. Okay, Nintendo is making more hardware after the Switch 2. I don't need to know if it's going to be called the Switch 3, the Switch Ultra, the Switch Turbo. Like it's coming. It's happening. It probably ain't gonna show up to like 2032, and my kids will be in college, but it's happening.
Your kids might be in college by the time we get another Nintendo platform after the one we get this year.
But it's happening. I'll say this. Guarantee this. Clip it, bookmark it, whatever. And it's not even like a stretch to say this.
Okay.
If we do get Xbox hardware, it's the last Xbox hardware we're getting.
Hey, he said that's it.
That's it.
So you rubber stamping that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, you bro.
Is that even a bold statement?
I mean, but here on DPS we do not speak in absolution, though.
I do. I speak in absolutes all the time. I'm a Sith.
Okay.
Darth slow-mo.
The rule of two. There's always two. So I'm with you. I'm with the fact that you actually know your lore for a man that says Star Wars sucks. I got
it. It does suck. But
you
still,
know your lore though. You know your lore.
I just wanted to make that analogy work. To people understand. Yeah. It's
the rule.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I'm saying, I'm telling you, this is the last hardware.
Okay, I'm with you.
There will be no more.
I'm with you, Miss. So what percentage are you putting on that?
Look, 100%, man.
Oh, so you ain't even. So you're not even going to put the decimal.
I told you,
there.
Darth slow-mo. There's no 100%. This is the last hardware.
Point. We ain't moving it to the left slightly 2 spaces.
Let me walk you down the aisle with this, okay? So look,
oh man,
they already talked about, like, Sarah Bond came out and talked about forward compatibility, right?
They did.
So she's talking about making sure that your games go with you everywhere, right?
She did.
So why would they need to do that? They want to make sure that the library that you have already acquired as an Xbox gamer on Xbox consoles is available no matter where you go.
That's true.
What has their marketing been saying to you? On a trash Fire Stick, their marketing was like, no console, no problem.
No problem.
No problem, baby. No console?
No problem.
You don't need a console to play our games?
Nope.
Just get that trash Fire Stick. Go ahead.
Funny.
All the games and all the latency, all in one. That's when I listen to their investor calls, they bragging about the growth on PC.
They are
bragging.
They are. They love it. Microsoft loves it too.
Out of all the consoles in the sub market of the gaming market, in the sub market of console, out of all of the platforms that are there, the only one who are putting their games on everything that can run it within that market is them.
Right.
They're a software company. Satya Nadella killed Windows Phone. He ain't a hardware dude. Like didn't they kill the Surface or trying to kill the Surface or something?
They try.
He ain't your CEO isn't a hardware dude. He's a software guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he don't want this. Now he's been convinced by Phil, and rightfully so, that he needs it.
Mm.
And so he's kept it around because he's been told he needs it. And honestly, the majority of the revenue they generate comes from the monthly active users on Xboxes, buying games, subscribe to Game Pass, microtransactions for Black Hole Live Service games. All that revenue comes through there. You got ABK revenue as well, which doesn't all come from there. But the more of that, and the more that they put their games everywhere, the more irrelevant that hardware becomes.
True. That's true.
So, although I'm not saying it's a 100% chance they're not making hardware, like I think it's still a majority percentage chance that they will make more there will be another Xbox hardware coming, like this handheld, or maybe even a traditional like console, that sits under your entertainment, sits under your TV. Mm-hmm. You sit on the couch kind of deal, right? But after that, no chance.
No bueno.
Nah, they want cloud to be like. They want xCloud to be like GeForce Now levels of quality.
Mm.
If they can get it there, oh man. I think they probably think, yeah, look, we could sell people on this. We could get GeForce Now, for those who haven't used it, best cloud gaming you can get. Almost like playing it locally.
Yep.
I can see them being like, yeah, we can get this xCloud on point like that. The cloud gaming market grows a bit more. We make sure we get all the publishers on board. We build our platform we get out. They got their mobile app they trying to run. They trying to get their mobile app out there. They want to get out of the hardware business, man. It ain't that hard to see.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
But now, all right, I'm question for you.
Answer.
Back to this handheld.
Okay. How
much marketing do you see them doing with this?
Jesus Christ. You just asked the one failing of all of Xbox and Microsoft. How much marketing are we gonna get from this?
I think it's something that, like, how much marketing do we get, and
the question is who's gonna market it?
What kind of marketing is it? Is it marketed as an Xbox, or is it marketed as, hey, look, what it is? This is a PC that we got some Xbox themes to it. When it turns on, it has the Xbox logo when you turn it on, kind of deal. Like you turn it on, and Look, I don't have a ROG Ally. When you turn on a ROG Ally, what happens? You got one, right?
It just says ROG Ally. It just says ROG Ally.
But you know what I'm talking about? When you turn it on, there's
the screensaver
Republic of Gamers.
Yeah,
Republic of Gamers pops up.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna say. ROG Ally, Republic of Gamers. The Xbox one will probably pop up and say, it would probably say,
I can
Xbox / the ROG
yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the splash screen when you turn it on.
Yeah.
You know how you turn on the Xbox. Remember the original Xbox when you turn it on? That looked dope. Yeah, it's like
dope. The little
it still looks dope to this day.
Yeah. They should have that pop up.
That it's a PC. You can definitely customize it to do that.
So that should be the startup screen, and then right after that screen, it should pop the ROG, the eye emote. Pop that up on the screen after the fact to show the partnership for both of them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I'm trying to think of how far the collaboration goes. Like I'm pretty sure.
It's gonna go pretty deep.
As far because we when they reveal it, they're gonna give us the specs to it too. And Jason Ronald now, I think his role is what is it, head director, CEO, whatever. His like one of those titles of next gen is his title. And more than likely what he's doing is he's working with people like ASUS to make sure that if you're using our branding, or if you're going to in the future, because they're going to use these partners to make Xboxes in the future too. That's the other side of it. It's not just an Xbox handheld that's coming out in a couple years. There's going to be considered an official Xbox, but it's made by Logitech. And not necessarily Xbox. That kind of future is coming. Yeah. And Jason's got to be so we find what you calling this an Xbox, but you got to have some kind of prerequisites for what it does. So the just off the rip, thumbsticks gotta be offset, because that's kind of our deal, right?
Right.
It can't be, especially for a handheld where the thumbstick position is permanent. You can't have it symmetrical like a PlayStation. That's not going to look right. Maybe spec wise, a certain what do they call it? TDP for power. You gotta have a minimum TDP.
Yep.
So that these things last longer than the time it takes to use the bathroom. Mm-hmm. We need this thing to last a little bit longer than that kind of deal. Things like that, right? In addition to, at the very least, when you turn a thing on, you see an Xbox logo pop up on the screen. So I expect that much from it, but marketing wise, I'm curious on how they phrase it to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not technically this isn't doing anything that you wouldn't get from say the Legion Go. Your games, if it's not a play anywhere game, you can't play it on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when the official Xbox comes out, more than likely you're going to get stuff like Steam integration, where you can just you can play your Steam games on it, or if you got games through Epic Games Store, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But that's because you need to do that, because all these are the PC handhelds doing that. You can't come out hey, here's our Xbox handheld. The only store we got on it is the worst store that's on PC market. It's just the Xbox PC app that everyone hates.
That's true.
So you gotta have everything else there, and I'm sure they're going to try to fix the Xbox PC app before this comes out. like the Xbox handheld that is. But like they've been talking about fixing the current PC app since this generation started, which was 5 years ago. So my level of confidence in them fixing it is not high, not very high at all. So again, like Forte, how do they market this? How do they market this to the everyday gamer that isn't as clued into like things as like us and like the people in this chat? Like how do you market this to everyone?
Well, it's kind of hard to say because I don't think it is for everyone. It's going to be for people that want it, and unless Microsoft or Xbox changes their marketing ideology, then it's just like it took them. Xbox Game Pass came out in 2017. I still to this day say they still haven't marketed that the proper way, where it is a ubiquitous thing that people know when they say Xbox, they say Game Pass. You know, right now people would still probably say Halo. If you like, what's the first thing that pops in your head? You would say Halo. So I don't think they've done a good enough job. Even I think they've done better with Game Pass because, you know, it's kind of hard, especially being people that's plugged in and, you know, talk about all these different things, and we watch all these showcases and stuff, and we see that Game Pass is very prevalent there. But I don't see it on the outside, like, you know, when there's a Spider-Man game coming out, PlayStation literally changes a whole subway car and paints it. Or God of War, they put the logo on the NBA court during NBA playoffs. You know, it's something that stands out on purpose to like get people that are not in the, you know, to attract the people that's going to spend the money to buy those things, because things like this handheld ain't gonna be cheap. You know, the ROG Ally by itself was the base version, the non-Z version was still, before they started discounting it, was still $500. Then you had the $700 version, which was the Z model. And now, you know, they have the top of the tier one, which I think is like $800. So, you know, this thing is not going to be cheap, you know, in itself. So how are you going to tell this to people that don't care about games, but have kids that do? You have to put it in places where those people, you know, work, live, interact with. Not TV used to be a really good way of doing it, but most people now are watching streaming. You know, not too many people are watching over-the-air live stuff. So it's real interesting to see how they go about it. But I feel like the first thing they should do, just to answer the question, like, you know, out front, as soon as they announce this thing, it needs to be anytime you look at a trailer or anything you look at on YouTube, they should have a partnership with YouTube to make sure that they have high priority with every commercial for anybody that doesn't have like YouTube Premium to get a commercial for anything gaming related. That should be the trailer. That should be the thing that's thrown in front of everybody that navigates in a gaming sphere on YouTube and even on Twitch. I feel like those are the places you need to target the most. Even if it's not a trailer, have it off on the side as a banner. You know, shout out to Brap. We were talking to when I did Brap with Game Logic and Game Logic was like, he was showing an article and Game Logic was like, oh man, looks like somebody's been looking at tires recently, because they had like a whole bunch of tire promotions all over his freaking Google, his Chrome browser. And that's the type of things that they need to do. It's not like they don't have the money to do it, but I also think it also comes back to the point that you made, like how much effort are they going to put into the marketing if it's basically just not going to say a throwaway, but more of a thing like if you want it, it's there for you, but we're not going to promote it like it's something we really like you really have to have. Because if they really want you to do it, they're going to do they'll do all those things.
I'm gonna tell you what I think they need to do, and I think they need to steal Nintendo's homework.
Oh well.
Or you know, if you
That's a great trailer, by the way.
Yeah. You need to Nintendo. Every time Nintendo does a trailer for the Switch, they're always showing you some kind of functionality of it, like how they think you should be using it.
Yeah, they do.
You know, like you're playing, you're sitting down, it's docked, you're playing, and then you get up, they take a leak or something, and you take it. That's disgusting. So don't do that. But you get up, right, and then you grab it off the dock, and then you're still playing it, but you're playing in hand. Like they need to do something similar to that, where. Although they would never do this because they don't like showing Xboxes in their marketing now for some reason, right? But show someone playing an Xbox, you know, shocker, you know, you still make those. Show someone playing an Xbox, and then have like somebody call them and say, "Hey, man, let's I don't know, let's go skating." I don't know. I'm making people. Right.
Wait, are you saying that they should do that cheesy trailer that they did when they was at the beach? And remember we was talking about Brap in the early Brap days, about Brap playing
not the beach. Not playing this. Not going to the rooftops. Not going to the beach.
Playing basketball on the rooftops and then going from the basketball court to the table to play people in NBA 2K on the Switch. You remember that trailer?
That was ridiculous.
That trailer was ridiculous.
Figure out a way to have somebody needing to leave that isn't completely ridiculous, right? But just have it so like you're getting up and you grab your Xbox Asus ROG Ally. And you see him turn it on and the Xbox logo turns on and he's like in the car or something as he's playing, you know, on his way to wherever the hell he's going. Right. All I'm saying is that actually show its usefulness in a gamer's, like, you know, collection of accessories or ways that they enjoy playing games. And this isn't like, that's not like the kind of marketing that we haven't already seen before. Like we've seen that before with Nintendo before. I actually will say this. I've seen Tokyo Game Show, Xbox shows and their marketing for that. When they've marketed xCloud and Game Pass, those are the kind of commercials they've shown over there. So I don't know if it's just the Asian divisions marketing that gets it, but like, I don't know, talk to them or something, like make something similar so that like you can kind of get an idea about how this is going to go, because I feel like they're a very data driven company.
Right.
If the data doesn't tell them that what they want to see, they can get wrong impressions from it. I think they're so focused on data at times that they don't understand the whys or how certain things get to a certain degree. For example, and I can say this now because this has been years, but I was told by someone who works with them that like, they don't think exclusives are important. And I was like, why would they not think exclusives are important? And this person said, well, because they've done surveys, and in their surveys, their Xbox gamers list for questions like, why do you play on Xbox? And exclusives weren't in the top three chosen responses. And I'm like, but you don't have any exclusives. So why would someone say, I'm here for exclusives, we don't have any?
Right.
It's like you don't have, at that time, you didn't have exclusives for someone to say. The question should have been, what do you value most in a console?
Right.
And maybe that would have actually worked, but you're already in a position where you feel like, more gamers on the platform. We're in third place when it comes to install base in console gaming. We want more gamers. Why are you polling the gamers that you already got instead of trying to poll the gamers that you're trying to get and find out what they're interested in, to get them into the platform? It's like they use data incorrectly sometimes.
True.
And so what I don't want for them is for them to look at, do a poor job marketing this thing with Asus and then have a really skewed collection of data off of it, and then basically make plans in the future for their future devices based off of just erroneous information.
I can see that.
Yeah. But all right, man, let's get out of here, man. I think we've rambled on long enough. Look, it's a Ace ROG Ally with Xbox stuff on it. Okay, you're probably going to see it for good, for reals, within a week or so. Hopefully, right? Maybe.
So this is a question. This is the last thing I'll ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think and I was just thinking about this because I know we're probably going to see this soon. Normally, do you think we'll see it soon, or do you think we're going to see it before the June showcase, or do you think it's going to be something that's going to be around that time?
Oh yeah. It may even come out before the June showcase. It could come out in like May or something. You don't know. Like I think a lot of the news that came out from a lot of the usual sources, they started providing details and leaking things. Typically when they start running their mouth on things, then it's usually like it's coming soon. So it wouldn't surprise me if they showed it within sometime this month.
Okay.
And then like it comes out in like April or May, or at the May at the latest. Yeah, because this isn't like, it's not quite like it's Xbox branded third-party hardware.
Oh,
like you don't really need to show this at the showcase,
right?
Like it's yours,
Now,
like it. Yeah.
Now you said branding, so we know more than likely it's going to have branding when you turn it on. But do you think there's going to be any Xbox branding actually on the unit itself?
Yeah. I think it'll have an X button on there.
So you think the
Xbox, with the Xbox logo, with a button, the Xbox logo on it, like an Xbox controller. Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
Okay, I think so too. I'm just because everybody probably wondering, like you said, when you're talking about the partnership, how far is that partnership going to go? I think legit, when you look at it, if you didn't know any better, you would think this is an Xbox handheld first, and then once you get into it, you'll realize that it's more of a partnership with Asus, with ROG. But like I said, I think this is also the test bed. I think at some point with this handheld, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing updates to it when you get like more of an Xbox OS at some point added to it, like where they're gonna like test that out, because I do think that's the ultimate goal for Xbox. If they do, release the actual handheld that they're going to make, which is in development, I think they'll use the ROG Ally or this partnership with this handheld to kind of flush out a lot of those features that you're going to kind of see. Not the whole suite, because you still want to save something for your handheld when you finally do it, but you'll see some type of remnants of it, over the course of the development, or not the development, but over the life of this handheld that they have in production with Asus. But nope, I agree with you 100%.
Cool.
Aronimus said you're in the echo chamber, by the way.
He said eco chamber. Oh, I'm green. Yeah, I'm good for the environment, and I am very good for the environment. I'm good for everything. Just yeah.
He said, You're so funny, man. I'm so tired of you.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here, bro. Anything that you want to let everyone know, like videos that you haven't released that you were supposed to release this week, anything like that,
Actually, no. Actually, be on the lookout for the PlayStation. The reasons you should buy a PlayStation Pro in 2025. That video's coming. It's actually going to be really funny.
I can't wait.
But guess what? I'm also going to make a video on why you should wait on the Switch 2 in 2025.
Why you should wait?
Why you should wait for a Switch 2.
Oh, like I thought you meant like don't buy it at launch. Like
that's
wait
what I said.
For
wait,
a while.
like why you should wait
okay.
on buying a Switch. I didn't say the whole thing, but why you should wait on buying a Switch 2 in 2025.
Well,
now I don't. Now
somewhere in there you need to be like, if they don't have a Fire Emblem at launch, there's just no reason to buy this thing.
Well, that would be the reason,
that's the kind of energy I'm on.
That would be the reason SloMo won't buy one. That might actually be one of the reasons that you should wait. Lack of first party or second party games. But you never know what Nintendo might have 6 first party games ready for that thing on launch. Who knows? Because they surely ain't talked about anything.
Well,
we ain't even got to release.
If it's Mario Jamboree 4 and Mario Kart 9 and Luigi's Slumber Party and Yoshi's Doghouse, I'm not getting those games. They can keep that garbage.
Doghouse.
Fire Emblem or bust. That's all I want. Fire Emblem. You can keep the rest of that stuff that like for some reason everyone loves. I can't stand it. I'm not 5. I'm not playing it. Pokemon Sapphire, which is the same Pokemon as the other one, but they just made it buggier, and everyone buys 20 copies of it.
Well, Pokemon Sapphire is got. Is
that a real thing?
It is.
I just made that up.
Pokemon Sapphire is actually a game.
Oh my god!
Pokemon Alpha Sapphire.
I hate them. I hate them.
It's got Kyogre on the front of it.
I tried to come up with a color that they didn't have already, and I just named one. Okay,
you did. You know what Sapphire? Sapphire is the water one because it's Alpha Sapphire. God. It's got the beautiful Kyogre on the front of it.
No, wait. Here's a Pokemon Fuchsia. They ain't got a Pokemon Fuchsia. I guarantee that.
What the hell is Fuchsia?
You don't know what color Fuchsia is? Like a hot pink. It's like a hot pink color.
So you just picked the color in the middle of the color wheel.
I picked the color I knew
you picked
they
the
would
color,
not have.
You picked the color instead of just saying pink or magenta. You picked the color that's like slightly off axis of being pink, and it's like it's not true pink, but it's like a decimal point in the other direction.
I'm certain they're running out of colors at this point.
I mean, they got Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Scarlet and Violet. I mean, they got a lot of different ones. Oh, but speaking of which, before we get out of here, I do want to ask you this, since we were talking about Nintendo. We all know that Nintendo doesn't like per se care about graphics as much as like Xbox and PlayStation kind of does, or at least they're gamers. But we can say that at least that Nintendo does at least make their games look appealing, like for the platform that they're on. Like they don't look ugly, like ugly textures or anything like that. They actually look really good, and like Mario in HD looks really good. But Pokemon, let's and I love Pokemon. Let's talk about Pokemon. We just had a whole great conversation on Fuchsia and how they don't have that as a color. But this is outro
time. We trying to get up out of here, man. I want
to ask you this question about it though. Do you think so? Pokemon is like one of the best-selling games out there. Pokemon Legends ZX just got announced at the last Nintendo Direct.
ZX.
It's called Legend ZX, Z to A, Legend Z to A. They just announced it. They haven't put a date on it yet because I think they're going to announce that during the Switch 2 launch because they only announced the regular Switch version. I do think there's going to be a Switch 2 version. But guess what? I don't think that game's going to look that much better on a Switch 2 because guess what? I think Pokemon games are ugly as hell looking. And it's a contrast. To me, it's a contrast to Nintendo because people say, well, Nintendo doesn't care about graphics like that. I say, yeah, that's true, but Mario doesn't look ugly. Mario Wonder looks absolutely great. And then Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom actually looks pretty great. Now, performance aside, that's just because the system isn't strong enough to like output what it needs to do when it comes to like the way the game looks and how big they are. But Pokemon, it's like I just don't think they care. Like they know people are going to buy Pokemon and they just willing to give us ugly looking games. I'm going to buy this game because I love Pokemon, but I feel bad buying it because I looked at that trailer.
You should. I
looked at that trailer SloMo for Pokemon Legend ZA and I was like, this looks terrible. But they implemented things like dodging, like you can actually, it's got like a Final Fantasy feel to it where you can move around the arena with your Pokemon.
Is that the only advancement?
No,
dodging?
Listen, but it's there.
That's like as bad as Madden. We added a hit stick this year. I'm like, that you ain't changed nothing else. You just added a hit stick.
But SloMo, that's good for Pokemon. The fact that you can dodge inside, like you could dodge in Pokemon now, but now it's a 3D space. So like how Final Fantasy 7 and all the Final Fantasies up to this point, until we got to 15, it used to be all linear where you could just stand in one spot and just take damage. Now you can like move around the environment with your Pokemon and dodge in a 3D environment, and people are excited for that. I'm actually happy that they're doing that, but I still can't get off the fact of my mind that game looks terrible, but it's going to sell 50 million copies though. What do you think about? What do you think about that,
care?
What do you think?
They don't care because these lemmings keep buying the trash game. So they keep buying these trash Pokemon games, and it doesn't matter what kind of foolishness Nintendo does. Oh, now we're gonna like basically split the game in two and make you buy two games instead of one game. We could all be in one game, and people just go, okay, all right, I'm just gonna buy two of them at full price, and it's just like. You get what you deserve.
Well, Childish said Game Freak is just a bad developer, and then Briny says Game Freak is a low effort studio that's making money off the backs of fanboys who settle.
See?
Yeah, he right. You right.
Low effort is being kind.
It's definitely below low effort. Oh, it's by the way, if you didn't see it, because I know you're not plugged into it, Niantic, who is the maker, because I play Pokemon Go still. I
did see it. They got bought by Scopely or something like that.
No, they didn't get bought. No, that's the funny thing. They sold their games to Scopely. So they sold Monster Hunter Now. They sold Pikachu something, I forget, it was like Pikmin or Pikachu some game, and then they sold Pokemon Go to Scopely for $3.85 billion. They sold the studios, they sold the teams, so the teams that were working on those games will just move over to Scopely, and then Niantic is rolling over to their, because they do AR and artificial technology and stuff like that. They're moving all of their development over to that now. And anybody that's still any stock or anything that you had in Niantic when they still had all those other IPs, you just got a windfall because you keep your stack, that you still keep all that stock because they didn't sell the company. They just sold the IP. So these dudes just literally kept all of their capital and sold 3 IPs for $3.85 billion, bro. I couldn't believe when I saw that. I was like, that's a come up, bro. from no money to that. That's so stupid.
And no improvement on quality.
No, because Pokemon
either then
Go
or in the future.
Pokemon Go is still the same game, but somebody spent $3.85 billion. The power of Pokemon, man. The power of Pokemon. Yeah, that's it though, man. But I'll go first. Gaming Forte, YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, and PlayStation. Also Blue Skies, where it's very peaceful over there. Check us out with DPS next week. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel. There will be a video up this weekend. I was like super busy last weekend doing stuff, so I owe this channel like 2 videos. I got one for this weekend, one for last week. So be on the lookout for that. SloMo's been living up to his end of the bargain. I haven't, so I got to make sure I get that out. But we appreciate you guys. We love you, and as always,
you guys have a great night. And Yoshi will see you on April 2nd.
SloMo.
What's happening April 2nd?
The Nintendo, the Switch 2 reveal. Not reveal, but the showcase.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be here
in we'll probably stream that. If they're showing it live, we'll probably stream it. It's a Wednesday?
Yeah, it's a Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll make sure. I'll try to make sure that like it's a free time at work where I'm not going to get bothered with anything. So cool.
Happy anniversary, Ramon. Ramon said that's his anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary, man. I will, as soon as I finish Mass Effect, I will be Mass Effect 1. That is, I will be on Mass Effect 2, and I'll be streaming that. We're going full renegade, baby. I mean, we kicking people out of windows. We letting innocent people burn up in factories. We shooting people in the head. We're punching reporters in the face on camera. We doing all the renegade stuff in Mass Effect 2. And I'm not turning on the whole like plastic surgery thing.
Did you kick him out the window?
I'm doing that. Yeah. Well, no, I'm playing 1 right now. I'm gonna stream Mass Effect 2.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
So that's what I said. We're gonna do all that renegade stuff on stream. Okay. And I'm not turning on the whole plastic surgery to fix my face. I'm gonna be looking like the Terminator. Red glowing eyes and skin peeling off and all that stuff. Because I'm gonna be evil.
Man, this man gonna be
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Yeah. Anyway, so look out for that soon, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Play some games, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.